At some point, I decided my self confidence would only stretch so far. I would never stop myself from trying new things, but I didn't think of myself as the type of person to be really excellent at any of them. More specifically, I didn't think that I was the type of person to do the work that it took to become really great. I was good at experimenting and trying and kind of picking things up. But when it came to getting really good and spending the time that it took to get really good, that wasn't me. In grade school, I wasn't super athletic, and I didn't think of myself as a runner. But eighth grade came around, and there was an exclusive grade eight only after school run club. And so the fear of missing out did a good job of getting me to show up and go with my friends. We ran 3 times a week, and by the end of the year, I did my first two 5Ks. And that barrier that I was not a runner was broken. Great. When you do something that you've never done before, you don't only benefit from the immediate outcome, but you also get a chance to show yourself that you can do new things. You're the type of person to be able to kind of break past the barriers that you put up for yourself. I'm not the type of person to excel. In sixth grade English class, we learned about the hero's journey. It's a template for stories that feature a protagonist who leaves their ordinary world and overcomes a crisis, returning back home changed or transformed. And while this doesn't apply to every single story, it applies to every time that I break a mental barrier to try and make it through something that I didn't think I could do before. I drew a little diagram of it. Hold on. This is the hero's journey. There are two parts. There's the ordinary world, where you start off, and the extraordinary world, where all of the novelty and challenge and difficulty happen. And there's a barrier between them. So once you cross this barrier, that's doing something new for the first time. And then when you return with the gift of, wow, that's another thing that I didn't think I could do before, and now I can. And I think this circle is bad at showing how this changes you. So I added a third dimension to show how I think of it, and how when you come back, your vantage point won't be the same as when you left. It spirals up, and you end up at a higher spot with a wider view than when you started. So, if we're talking in the framework of stories, I want to bring up my story as a musician. I've been writing songs and performing at open mics since 2017. All of these years have shown me again and again that I'm able to write music that I'm proud of and can share it in front of a group. Great, barrier gone. But when it came to publishing, polishing, and sharing my music on Spotify with more people, I put up barriers so high for some reason. Things like I can't put songs out until I polish them enough. I can't put songs out until I make my own beats. And I can't put songs out until I like the way that my voice sounds when I sing. And at its core was I'm not the type of person to excel. But my roommates in university were some of the few people that I did show my music to. And literally since the first year we lived together, they've been telling me they want me to upload these songs to Spotify. And why wouldn't they? If I had a friend making music and I thought it was worth anything, I would want them to put it out too. Other people can't see the barriers in your mind, and talking to them will remind you of what's possible. Later, one of my roommates would go to a couple live shows at some clubs in Toronto to see local musicians play. He came back buzzing with excitement, and he told me, you have to perform at one of these concerts. They're so chill, so low stress, and such a good opportunity to show off your music. Why haven't you done it yet? This was a barrier I hadn't even considered was there. It wasn't something I was holding myself back from doing. It was just that I didn't even know performing at a venue was an option for someone like me. I thought it was something that once you become a musician, whatever that is, and become big enough, this just happens. But I did not consider that I could go and do it myself. I just wasn't the type of person to. This winter, I was visiting my brother in Europe, and I played him some more of my songs, and I told him the same reasons why I couldn't put them out yet. And he asked me, have you worked with a producer before? Can you go take a vocal lesson? And again, my mind was kind of blown. He didn't ask these in like a snarky, like, ha, did you think of this yet? But just with genuine curiosity, could I take a vocal lesson? Could I go work with a producer? And I didn't even consider these things to be actions that I could take to get further along with my music. I had never seriously thought about finding a producer or a vocal coach or really collaborating with strangers who could help me hone my skills. These types of barriers aren't even particularly scary to break or hard to do. They just are lost in a perspective that I don't have. And it made me think, how long has it been since I've proved to myself that I can do something new with my music? And I want to try. I want to pass from the ordinary world into the extraordinary and back again as often as I can and find out what new perspectives I can gain. Find limits and pass the limits. The way I want to try doing that is intentionally listing out new frontiers that have seemed uncrossable to me. I have little notes of ones that I want to tackle first, and I'm hoping that this will help me see the walls that I've put up for myself. I can be my own new perspective. When you try something new and follow through, when I give myself a second chance to put out a song that I meant to finish months ago, if I find a vocal lesson to take, or learn a new production skill, or go to an open mic in the city in a back room of a bar and perform for an unknown crowd, all of these things show me that I'm more capable than I thought I was. And the barriers I built for myself don't have to stay up forever, even if they have been up forever. So hopefully I'll make something happen.